time they go out of town, they want us to watch her. I might spend the night here.
It wouldn't be terrible.
Charlie's doing all right.
Look at you guys.
Sitting out on the porch at sunset.
We're walking little Sadie because Mommy and Daddy are gone for the night.
Did you notice how beautiful the thistle flowers are, Debbie?
No.
Beautiful white flowers.
I can't even see them.
They're beautiful. They look
This
like,
is Sadie.
almost like,
Sadie's a little schnauzer.
cross between a rose and a tulip.
Yeah, I'll have to check them out. What are they called, the white ones? Thistles.
Well, thorny plant,
Thistles.
custom plant. They bloom, they're beautiful.
Okay.
They're just
Thistles. And then they own these two big old cows. And they're not eating them, and they're just letting them live.
they'll eat them one day.
It's a beautiful night. They have gorgeous property. Wow. It is Saturday evening. We're at Kathy's mom Mary's house. They had some relatives in, so we all had dinner together. And then we had to come over and let the baby out. She's happy to be out. In this pretty place.
Hey, Deb, have you ever seen the guest cottage?
Yeah. I've been in it. Look at that. They get some great sunsets. And every morning they get the sunrise on this side. Right here. Yep. But it's a beautiful night. Gorgeous sunset coming on. I think there's 60 acres here that they own. Nothing wrong with beautiful land like this. I love it. Really pretty area. This is like, you know, a mile and a half outside of Knox City, so it's really pretty much Knox City. There's a guest house over there. That used to be the chicken coop. They had goats too for a long time, but they don't have them anymore because they're so busy. They've got like Ace Hardware, Kendall and Company, Farmhouse Grill, and Bud's. Plus they own an RV park, small one, and a laundromat that's on the RV park. They're busy. And cabins. So they don't have the animals anymore. Okay, I just wanted to share this, how pretty it is. Hope you're all enjoying your weekend. Okay, doggy's been walked and fed.
Do you ever hear any more from those people with that fifth wheel you were looking at?
Yeah, well, I can't afford it. Bottom line. Okay.
Careful, there's a big
What?
log thing you have to...
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, it sure is.
Even with a Chevrolet, it's not hard to dodge.
Dodge.
Get out of Dodge.
Isn't this pretty land? Can't beat it. Of course, like you were saying, Mark, it's a lot of money.
A lot of mowing.
A lot of mowing, a lot of everything.
Yeah, it is.
I would think at the least you could have some of these just let them be hay fields, and you could just have to cut the hay and sell it.
You could just be a farmer.
Well, that'd be the easiest thing to do.
Yep.
Something like raising a bunch of cattle or goats. So,
Yeah, remember when they had all the goats and chickens.
Easy, year round.
Okay, we're on our way. Homeward. Yes. Good morning, YouTubers, friends, and family. rvDebs here. It is about 11 a.m. on Sunday morning. Beautiful, overcast, but nice cool breeze. I think it was like 69 degrees or something, 68. Maybe a little less. It's supposed to get high of 82 today here in this little town, Knox City, Texas. Here comes Lily. She's better today. She's so delicate. It's Sunday, about 8 p.m. and it's getting ready to rain. Thundering and dark clouds. Some lightning. Oh, bummer. And Rosie says, "No, please, Mommy, don't let it get me." She's such a big baby. I'm sorry, Rosie. Okay, I guess we're gonna go in. Yep. Any minute, we're gonna get some rain. I feel a couple drops, actually. So I will talk to you another time. Later. It's nighttime. Yes, it is. It is Tuesday evening. Just got finished playing a couple of games of dice. It's called Farkle. And with Kathy and Mark. I made a really pretty necklace tonight. Earlier. Amethyst. I'll have to show it to you guys. And my puppies are doing good. Lily's been under the weather. I don't know if she like fell hard on her hind legs. At first I thought she was constipated, but she did go poop. I don't know what it is, but I gave her a baby aspirin, half of one. And she's been so much better today. But tomorrow we're going to take her to the vet and let her have a couple tests and see that everything's okay. She might have just hurt her back legs, but look at her now. She looks pretty good. But the aspirin really helped, I could tell. So maybe she did, maybe she landed really hard off the bed or something, and they can't tell you, can they? No, they can't say this is what happened, so you just kind of got to figure it out. Anyway, it's supposed to get some thunder showers tonight, some heavy downpours and stuff. Looks pretty nice that direction. If you look over here, you can see clouds and more gray. But I think we're right above where the worst part's supposed to be. I'm grateful, because I certainly would rather not have to deal with big lightning and thunderstorms and hail and, you know, all that stuff. Tornadoes, God forbid. All right, everyone. Good night from Knox City, Texas, to wherever you are. Hi, everyone on YouTube. rvDebs here. It's Wednesday. It's about 2:20 in the afternoon. I'm on my way to Haskell, which is to take Lily, she's right here, over here, to the vet, because for the last few days I have noticed her not really being able to jump up on things, or, you know, not wanting to get up on the table without help. She's been eating. I thought she was constipated, and she could be a little bit, but she did go to the bathroom. It's just something up with her hind legs, you know, her lower spine. I don't know, but she's not her usual self, which makes me really crazy and sad. So she's doing good. She's been eating and drinking water, but she's just not moving like she used to. And I don't know if she maybe jumped off like the sofa or the bed and hit wrong and maybe just is bruised. But I'm going to make sure by taking her to the vet. I was going to take her yesterday, but they had no opening. I gave her baby aspirin twice. Once early, once at like 1 o'clock in the morning and once at 1 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. That seemed to help a lot. But I didn't give her any today because I want the doctor to be able to, check her out. And if she's got pain, I want him to know. But yeah, so I'm just a lot bummed out because I love Lily with all my heart. She is the sweetest little Chihuahua doggy ever could ever want. And she's got such a sweet disposition. She enjoys going for rides. I had to leave Rosie home, and Rosie was like, "Where are you going without me?" Guilt. I've always got guilt going on, one way or the other, right? And so we're on our way to the vet. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to make sure that whatever it is, he's looked at her and gives me a diagnosis or whatever. So it could just be that she fell wrong when she jumped off the bed the other day. I don't know, because she didn't make a sound, anything, out of the ordinary. But you gotta watch these little dogs. She's only like 6 pounds, 5 or 6 pounds. So yeah, she's a good girl. She's got her little head resting on my arm. And then last night, about 4 in the morning, 4:30, I hear thunder, rumbling, lightning. I mean, like a major lightning strike, to the point where everybody probably in the whole area was jolted. Especially when you live in a travel trailer, an RV right there. And it started to just hail. I didn't go outside. I don't know how big the hail was. I don't think it was real big hail, thank goodness, because there's no problems today at all. But it lasted from about 4-ish to about 6 in the morning. Just rain and thunder and lightning. And I'll tell you, Rosie has the biggest fear you could ever have. And in thunder shirts, nothing helps her. I put her under the covers, I hold her tight, and she shivers and she freaks out. And Lily was pretty brave. Lily's braver than her. But even Lily we were very close, all of us. And then I got up, the lights went off once, but it was, thank goodness, it came right back on. But it was scary. And I stayed up from about 4 till about 6:30 in the morning. Went in the living room, I had flashlights at everywhere I was. And wow, So on top of having the vet appointment and being concerned with her, I think this is the right way. I should have noticed. I think so. God, I'm not paying attention. Anyway, yeah, between Lily being under the weather and then the weather being horrible, yeah, this is the right way. So that's what's going on here. So I will be letting you guys know what the doctor says, the vet, on the way home. And hopefully just a bruised little body, but, I just don't want to take any chances. Hello again, it's me. It's only me. Me and Lily. Can you see Lily? She's right there. And just got back from going to the vet. I'm at the grocery store with her right now. I'm so grateful because the first thing they did was to take her in for an x-ray of her stomach, because that would show her hips and if there was any problems with her stomach, any lesions, things like that. Freaked me out. So they took her away, and as they took her away, I sat in that little room praying my butt off. Dear Lord, please don't let there be anything negative. Let her be healthy. just a little constipated, whatever, you know, I just over and over, I was just praying. And luckily, thank the Lord, I really appreciate it, because there was nothing wrong with her. Her bones and hips look good. She's a little backed up, but not terrible. And they gave her a shot, and it's going to make her feel a lot better. I've got a couple of medicines. One's an antibiotic. One is something if she's uncomfortable, I can give her that. And one's for nausea if she's feeling sick. But, you know, I've got everything I need now, so she's fine. She's doing really good. You want to say hello to everybody? That's my girl. That's my girl. Yes, she's a sweet girl. Okay. So we're gonna head home. I'm just so grateful that it was worth the money. It was $139 today. Unfortunately, you know, money comes and money goes, right? But yeah, so I'm grateful that nothing major. She's just I think she might have, she said she doesn't have sore hips, but that she's a little, not backed up to the point where she has to, you know, have her feces taken out. She said she's ready to go to the bathroom again. So I'm going to watch her and give her the medicine, and she's supposed to, the shot that she got was supposed to really make her feel better and give her an appetite. That's what she said. So I'm praying that's all it is, and she seems to be okay. So thank you for everyone who's probably worried about her, but it was okay. It's okay. And it's worth the money. At least I don't have to think something's terribly wrong, you know? Okay, let me put my seatbelt on. And whew, I hadn't eaten anything. Not one thing since this morning. I had bulletproof coffee. It's like 4 o'clock. So I went into Modern Way and got a couple things. And I got a chicken salad sandwich on wheat bread, whole wheat bread, which isn't my best choice, but it feels better. I was getting very, like, growling stomach and kind of lightheaded, so hey, I could have done fried chicken or pizza, because that's they have that there. So anyway, I made the best decision, and it was good, and I'm fine. Now we're gonna go home and see Rosie, because Lily says, "Where's Rosie?" Rosie did not like me leaving without her. I thought it was time for the second half of my story the other day that I told, and how I got to Florida, and I wanted to continue it on. So I was in Florida, and I was missing California. At least I thought that's what I wanted. I told my dad and mom, you know, I want to go back to California. I miss California. This is a couple of years after being in Florida, but anyway, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. And my dad didn't want me to go to California. He's like, look, we're all here in Florida now. You know, you don't really have any family in California. Why don't you take... My dad was a car salesman, and he had a Cadillac. He used to always drive Cadillacs. He had a yellow Cadillac. He said, "You've never been to Key West. Why don't you take my Cadillac? Here's my MasterCard. Go drive yourself down to Key West and see if you like it there." And he was so smart. So I had like $100 on me in cash. I had a credit card and a nice Cadillac. And my guitar with me, of course. I remember this is the first time I'd ever gone, like, past Miami to the Keys. Beautiful, beautiful drive. This is like we're going to go to now, say 1977. About 77. I hadn't met Kathy yet. I had other friends I had met that I'm still friends with to this day, but that's in other stories. Anyway, I drove the Cadillac all the way to the Keys, and it was like a 4-hour drive. You're like leaving Florida. You're like in another world. I think it's the closest to kind of a California lifestyle, only on a little island West is like 2 miles by 4 miles. 12 miles if you like ride a bike all the way around the island. So I got there and I took my time. I found a hotel room and I got back in my Cadillac and drove down to Mallory Square, which is like where you see sunsets. I saw a sign on Duval. Duval's the main street in Key West. I saw a sign that said, singing, a talent contest tonight. I thought, maybe I'll try, you know. And so I went to the Mallory Square dock, where nowadays it's all built up and people sell stuff, but those days it was a dock, and at sunset, people that sold stuff from, you know, like real casual, like nothing like it is now. And I remember being on the dock and watching the sunset with lots of people. That's what they do. It's a big thing, is to go down to the sunset. It still is. After the sunset, I went to this little club. I believe the name of the club was Rick's. And I played the guitar and sang, and I won the contest. And the winner of the contest got to have a gig playing at a place called, oh gosh, what's the name of it? Seafood place. My mind is drawing a blank. I'm sure by the time I put this out, I'll remember. But it was a seafood house. And I got the job. And so I called my parents and told them, you know, that I'm going to come back and pack up, because the job for singing was like 8 to midnight or something like that. 7 to 9. I don't remember now. It's a long time ago. And Logan's Lobster House. There you go. Key West. Owned by a family. So the next day, drove all the way back to Miami area. My parents lived in North Miami at the time. And I wound up staying in Key West almost, I'd say 2.5 years. Maybe it was like 78. Yeah. So, during my time in Key West, all I did for a living was play guitar and sing. I played at Logan's Lobster House for a while. Then I got a job at Two Friends Patio Bar, which is still there today, family owned. I was there a year and a half. I mean, it was a really good job. I really had a good time. And I was living the life. I was riding my bicycle. I got a new bicycle. And I lived in a little place with other roommates at the time. And I kept my guitar at my this place, Two Friends, in their locked up closet. And I would ride my bicycle to work, sing from like 8 to midnight, Monday through Friday, off on the weekends. And I would party on the weekends, and I was like 29. And I had a good life. I met a guy. He was a lot younger than me. I think he was, well, I know he was. He was 23, and I was like 29. We got really into each other. He worked as, I think, a busboy or dishwasher. But he would sit and listen to me sing and play music. And we wound up kind of like moving in together. And he wound up cheating on me. And I had enough of Key West. I packed up I had a van at the time. My dad had gotten me a big old green van. Packed it all up. There's other stories, but let's just go from this. Packed it up, left for Miami, North Miami. When I got to North Miami, where my parents lived, they lived in like a high-rise community of like 3 buildings. And they weren't home, so I knocked at the neighbor's door, and it was a couple of a brother and a sister, and we started talking. Now, mind you, that I weighed at the time 170. I mean, that's a lot less than I am now. I wasn't that heavy. I've never been skinny, but I look good compared to now. They said, listen, we're gonna go to we go to OA, which is Overeaters Anonymous. So I went to Overeaters Anonymous with them, and my mom came along the first time, and there was a guy there, a real good looking guy. Everybody knew him. He was Mr. Cool. His name was Jay. And of course, my mother's like, hey, he's a nice looking guy. You know, my heart was just broken. I agreed that he was nice looking and wound up being my boyfriend. And he took me to a OA meeting, an Overeaters Anonymous meeting in Hollywood, Florida. And that is where I met Kathy. I met Kat. I was there, and when you go to an Overeaters Anonymous meeting, at least in those days, I haven't been to one in a long time, but I think they're the same. You can they pass a book around, and you put your first name only and your phone number if you want to make friends and have people call you, maybe get sponsored by someone. I stood up in front of everybody and I introduced myself. I said, listen, I could use new friends. I kind of gave them like I just got here, living in Key West. Well, Kathy, I met her that night and she called me up and said, come on over, I'm gonna make a roast chicken. You can meet my 2 boys. I said, well, I've got a dog. My dog's name was Ty. And I'll bring my guitar. She said, fine. That was the beginning of me and Kat. She made the best roasted chicken. It was kind of Cuban style. I'll never forget it. Her boys, Lee and Nathan, were maybe like 6 and 7. They're like 19 months apart. They were just little kids. And we became friends from that moment on. We wound up, she got a divorce from her husband at the time. And we moved in together. We started just to be best friends. And we've been best friends ever since. We lived together for a while. Then I moved to Clearwater, Florida back. Because I went to, for a long time I played guitar and sang. And now I'm like, in my 30s. I'm going with this guy, Jay. And he was an abusive guy. Not because he would get mad at me per se, but if something was going wrong in his life, he would take it out on me. And there were warning signs, ladies. There's always warning signs. I just did not heed the warning signs. I should have never done anything with him. But, yeah, what can I say? And that's a story in itself on that. Because we wound up, he drove me with a little travel trailer, like a 19-foot travel trailer, all the way up to Canada, where my family, Buffalo, New York, abused me. And it was a horrible experience on the way back. We broke up, and the rest is history on that guy. But yeah, so I wrote with him in love, which wasn't love, it was lust. I wrote 30 songs, love songs. But Kathy and I were best friends. We wound up. I went to broadcasting school for TV and radio because I was really tired of the bars, singing at lounges, and it wasn't steady work. It wasn't steady. Never was. I mean, jobs they just don't last. You could be in a lounge for 5 or 6 weeks, and then someone comes along that, they have a different sound, or they'll play for cheaper, and you lose your gig, and then you go to another place. It's not so great. And so I went to broadcast school, and when I graduated, I got an internship at a radio station in Clearwater, Florida, where I started, my cousin Maxine and all that. So I moved back to Clearwater, and then about a year and a half, 2 years later, I found a house, and Kathy and her 2 sons moved to the Clearwater area to be with me, and we started our business. That was 1990. And the rest is history. You guys know we've been together, friends forever, and we did Renaissance festivals for 9 years. And then after we got tired of dressing up and fixing booths up and having to camp out for 8 weeks at a time, we decided to just do arts and crafts shows. So we bought ourselves a really nice light dome craft booth, and we just went all over the place. So that's the story of how I met my darling friend Kat. And when I got married to Mark, the next year she got married to her husband, Mark. So we have just been really close, really, really close. And her sons too. And so I'm in Knox City, Texas because they're in Knox City, Texas, and they're my family. And I'm so grateful to have them in my life. I would like to have a little house. I don't have the money for it. That's why I live in my RV. And with the storm that we had last night, oh my God, it makes me wonder what the heck I'm gonna do, because it's scary when there's major wind and thunder and lightning and possible hail, and then you get, like, God forbid, tornado warnings. Although Knox City has not had a bad tornado since like the mid 50s. So we've been fortunate, and I hope it continues. But that's the story of how I met Kathy and how I got from California to Florida and Key West, Florida, and then North Miami, and then back to Clearwater. I've done a lot of moving. That's why it feels kind of good to have a home base. But I do have the gypsy blood in me. I do like to go places. And I'm hoping that this summer I'm going to get to do some things. Kathy's birthday is May 30th, and it depends. But I want to, her and Mark and me and my dogs, go to maybe Fredericksburg for like overnight, which is about a 4-hour drive. And I wanted to pay for it because they don't have the money to stay at an Airbnb. Not that I have the money, but I would love to do that for them because they don't go away at all. They hardly ever go anywhere. That's my plan, is to try to put it together so I can pay for the 2 nights out of town right at the end of the month. And they can pay for gas, you know, and we'll just, you know, we're not big spenders. So that's kind of in the making right now. I think it would do all of us good. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story. I don't want to make this video too long. Plus I've got a little extra stuff in there. But anyway, peace out, my friends, and I hope you enjoy these little stories of my life. I just had to show you how pretty it is today. It's 80 degrees, and it's just, after such a storm, it's so beautiful out, you know, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, really. But then the weather here doesn't really make a lot of sense. Just wanted to turn the camera around for a few minutes and just show you how pretty it is out in the country here in the farm road. That's what they call this, the farm road. Okay, I just wanted to show you for a minute. Beautiful. Tomorrow's going to be cooler. Today's like high of 83 supposedly. Tomorrow's supposed to be highs in the 60s. I don't know. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the drive.